This is the story of the Henderson Hummingbird Hurrah Button, a $10 investment that will bring you savings, prizes, and programs for old and young alike. The story behind the Henderson Hummingbird Hurrah Button must start with the Henderson Hummingbird Hurrah celebration itself. It's a two-day affair, August 20th and 21st. A celebration of the ruby-throated hummingbirds that involves the entire community of Henderson and the surrounding area known as the Minnesota River Valley. It's a gala affair with workshops, presentations, children's activities, a hummingbird mall, garden tours, speakers such as Al Batt and Jim Gilbert, and perhaps the most sought-after venue of all, the banding of those hummingbirds, all part of 2 days of fun for the whole family. None of these events would be possible without the button. When you purchase one of the Henderson Hummingbird Hurrah buttons, you are eligible for discounts and savings at merchants up and down the Minnesota River Valley. These merchants not only sell the button, but what is much more important are the discounts they offer those who are wearing the button. When you buy the button, you become eligible for their discounts. There are grocery stores, such as Wiggers Groceries and Shell in Henderson. Bars and restaurants, like Whiskey River in St. Peter. And then in Henderson, you can stop by Bittersweet, Tootie's Sweet Treats, Hog Wild, Neeson's Bar, all in Henderson. There are also specialty shops, such as Evolution Media and Design in Henderson, Miller Floor Coverings in LeSueur, Classical Glass in Henderson, and Belle Plaine Tire Co-op in Belle Plaine. Banks are involved too, banks such as Hometown Bank and First State Bank in Henderson. There are general stores like Prairie Farm Supply and Belle Plaine Country Store in Belle Plaine. Drug stores too, such as pharmacies like Corner Drug Health Mart in LeSueur. Furniture stores such as Wise Furniture in LeSueur. Beauty salons like Salon Nava in Henderson. Then there are garden stores such as Travis Dessous in St. Peter, Drummers in Mankato, Minnesota Valley Garden Center in Shakopee. Even accountants such as Oberty Limited in LeSueur, and publishers such as Closing the Gap in Henderson. In addition to all those discounts is the Henderson Hummingbird Hurrah Button Raffle. Not only are the buttons your ticket to savings at all those merchants, but in addition, each button has a number. When you register that number, it goes into a drawing, and you become eligible for one of a long list of prizes, both cash and merchandise. Merchandise such as this Votrex spotting scope and tripod, both from Eagle Optics. There are many, many other merchandise prizes as well. The Henderson Hummingbird Hurrah Button supports a number of programs, among them one called Nature Neighbors. Kids 7 to 11 years of age gather together twice a week all summer long under the tutelage of Art and Barb Straub to investigate that which is the out of doors, nature at its finest. Art and Barb take these children out into the field and give them an idea of what their neighbors really are, nature. Another program of Henderson Feathers is called Hurrah for the Arts. It's a program of materials given to public and parochial schools up and down the Minnesota River Valley that involves children in two areas, both art and expressive writing. It's a full curriculum with a big classroom poster, 12 worksheets, and a full curriculum guide for the teacher. It's a program that brings many entries into a contest that involves the individual child and the classroom that they represent. Prizes are given to both the students and the classroom. A very popular program, and one that fills a gap with the lack of funding in these areas in the regular school systems. My granddaughter Alana happens to be working on a piece of paper learning to draw a hummingbird from one of those worksheets that is in that curriculum. She's doing rather well, too. Over the history of the Henderson Hummingbird Hurrah, the banding venue has always been done in the backyard of a local resident. This whole process started about 20 years ago when that resident started feeding hummingbirds with one or two birds, and then over the years that grew to a huge number of birds that came to that backyard, and the result was indeed the formation of the Henderson Hummingbird Hurrah. Last year, during the Hurrah, over 2,000 people came to view that banding venue, and that single backyard is not large enough to handle the crowds that are expected in years to come. What were they to do? Well, a group of them got together and decided that the formation of a Henderson Hummingbird Garden would be the answer. And so it was born. Another long-term project for Henderson Feathers to figure out how to fund. The Henderson Hummingbird Hurrah button is part of the funding that goes here as well. The Henderson Hummingbird Community Garden is a citywide effort. From young to old, everybody seems to be pitching in. You're looking at a group of children attending the 2011 Advanced Nature Neighbor class as they come to the rescue of needed attention at the garden. You'll see them carrying chips, watering flowers as part of their routine one wonderful Thursday morning in June. Let's watch. They worked for almost an hour, carting the buckets of chips to the garden area, then spreading them carefully, laying on their tummies, hanging onto the rocks, making the place beautiful. It was something to watch. They didn't just walk, they ran most of the time. Oh, so carefully, they spread those chips around the flowers. Watch this little guy as he carefully surrounds each and every plant. Beautifully done, professionally done by a group of children bent on helping make the Henderson Hummingbird Garden a place to be proud of. As I watched these young people, I began to call this the Water Brigade. Jugs full of water coming to each and every garden, in this case under the supervision of Barb Straub, as these young ladies water each and every plant in the garden. It's just amazing. They worked so very hard, but so well. They never stopped. They just seemed to enjoy what they were doing, and certainly we who are supposed to be the old folk who are trying to do this garden realized it would have taken us probably 3 weeks to do what they accomplished in less than an hour. Many hands make light work for everyone. It was really something to experience. On this particular day, the adults who were involved were, of course, Art and Barb Straub with their little band of children and their nature neighbor children. They're always there in the garden as well, even on days that they aren't there with the children. And Pat Steckman, Arlene Bussey, even I get involved on occasion, but there are many, many others who come and volunteer. Steve Nescoda, Lisa Steinborn, many, many, many others. It's a community effort, and the garden is coming along. It was a kind of a hard start this spring with all the water, but things are coming together now, and hopefully very soon we'll really have a garden that is not only attractive to the birds, but for you, the viewer, who would like to come down and sit, watch the birds, watch the hummingbirds, and all the rest of them too. So come on down.